Your ex doesn't miss you because of who you were. They miss you because of what you made them feel. And here's the twisted part. Those feelings were never really about you at all. Science has proven that the human brain is terrible at identifying the source of its emotions, and clever people have been exploiting this glitch for decades. What if I told you that the most intense moment of connection you ever felt with someone happened because your brain was lying to you? This is the secret psychology of why exes always come back, why first dates at coffee shops fail, and why the most passionate relationships start in the strangest places. Welcome to the dark science of misattributed arousal. In 1974, two psychologists conducted an experiment on a rickety suspension bridge in Vancouver that would change everything we know about attraction. They had an attractive woman approach men, some on a terrifying swaying bridge high above a canyon, others on a solid, safe bridge nearby. She asked them simple questions, then gave them her number in case they wanted to know more about the study. The men on the scary bridge were 4 times more likely to call her. But here's what's disturbing. Those men didn't call because the bridge made them braver. They called because their racing hearts from fear were misinterpreted by their brains as attraction to her. Their bodies were screaming danger, but their minds whispered desire. This is called misattribution of arousal, and it's the reason your most memorable dates weren't at fancy restaurants. When your body experiences physiological arousal, increased heart rate, sweaty palms, adrenaline, your brain has to explain why. If there's an attractive person standing next to you when it happens, your brain will often attribute those feelings to them, even if they were caused by something completely unrelated. This is why horror movies make better first dates than rom-coms. Why couples who exercise together report higher satisfaction. Why makeup sex feels so intense. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between I'm terrified and I'm attracted, so it picks the most convenient narrative. Now let's talk about your ex. Think about when you had your most intense moments together. I'm willing to bet they weren't during quiet dinners or Netflix nights. They were during arguments, after long separations, during makeups, after breakups, or in moments of uncertainty about the relationship. Every time you fought and reconciled, every time they pulled away and came back, every anxiety-inducing moment created a physiological response that their brain labeled as intense connection. You became addicted not to each other, but to the emotional roller coaster itself. The chaos became the chemistry. This is why toxic relationships feel more passionate than healthy ones. A stable, secure relationship doesn't trigger constant arousal. There's no fear of loss, no dramatic reconciliations, no adrenaline spikes. Your brain stays calm, and somewhere deep inside, you misinterpret that calm as lack of chemistry. Meanwhile, the relationship that keeps you up at night wondering if they'll text back, that anxiety activates the same neural pathways as intense attraction. Your racing thoughts, your obsessive checking of your phone, your inability to focus, these aren't signs of love. They're signs of arousal that your brain has mislabeled as desire. Here's where it gets manipulative. Once you understand this principle, you can engineer it. This is exactly what your ex is doing, whether they know it or not. The sporadic texts, the occasional late-night call, the breadcrumbs of attention followed by silence. Each interaction is a mini roller coaster, a spike of hope followed by withdrawal. Your heart races when you see their name on your screen. You feel butterflies. And your brain, that unreliable narrator, whispers, "This must mean something." No. It means your amygdala is responding to unpredictability, and your prefrontal cortex is trying to make sense of it. Dating experts have weaponized this science for years. Take them somewhere exciting on a first date. Create mystery and unpredictability. Don't always be available. These aren't just tactics, they're arousal manipulation strategies. The coffee shop date fails because it's too calm, too predictable. Nothing happens to spike your date's heart rate and get misattributed to you. But the surprise concert, the spontaneous road trip, the activity that requires physical exertion, now you're creating arousal that has nowhere to go except towards you. The attraction isn't real, it's borrowed from the context. This explains why long-distance relationships feel so intense during reunions. After weeks or months apart, your body is flooded with anticipation, anxiety about whether things will still feel the same, and the physiological arousal of travel and change. When you finally see each other, all that built-up nervous energy gets channeled into what feels like overwhelming attraction. You interpret the racing heart as, "This person is my soulmate," when really it's, "I just traveled 6 hours and haven't slept properly in days." The relationship survives on these peaks and crashes during the valleys of normal, daily life together. Now, the uncomfortable truth. This is why makeup sex exists and why it feels so powerful. After a major argument, your body is in fight or flight mode, cortisol elevated, heart pounding, breathing rapid. When you reconcile and become intimate, all that physiological arousal gets redirected. Your brain experiences it as the most intense attraction you've ever felt. But remove the fight, the sex becomes ordinary. Some relationships become unconsciously addicted to this pattern. They pick fights not because they have real issues, but because their bodies crave the arousal reconciliation cycle. The conflict becomes the foreplay. So why does your ex keep coming back? Because you're not a person to them anymore. You're a source of arousal. Every interaction with you, even the painful ones, creates an emotional spike that their brain has learned to crave. The uncertainty of whether you'll respond, the anxiety of seeing you with someone new, the hope that maybe things could work out. All of it generates physiological arousal that feels identical to attraction. They don't miss you. They miss the way their nervous system activates around you. You've become their drug, and the painful moments are just part of the high. The cruelest part? Healthy love feels boring by comparison. When you finally meet someone who's consistent, available, and drama-free, your brain doesn't recognize it as attraction because there's no arousal to misattribute. The person who texts back reliably doesn't make your heart race. The relationship without fights doesn't feel passionate. So you convince yourself there's no chemistry, and you go back to the ex who makes you feel alive, not realizing you're just addicted to your own stress hormones. You're choosing arousal over attachment, confusing anxiety for chemistry, mistaking chaos for connection. Here's how you break the cycle. Start noticing when your heart races around someone and ask yourself why. Is it because of who they are, or because of the uncertainty they create? Is it attraction, or is it anxiety? True compatibility doesn't require constant arousal. It builds slowly through safety, trust, and genuine connection. The next time your ex reaches out and you feel that familiar flutter, pause. That's not love calling you back. That's your amygdala responding to unpredictability. Your brain is being hijacked by a psychological glitch discovered on a bridge 50 years ago. Don't let arousal masquerade as destiny. The most dangerous relationships are the ones that feel like fate, because fate and fear activate the same neural pathways. The bridge experiment proved that we fall hardest for people we meet during moments of arousal, regardless of the source. Your greatest love story might just be your nervous system's greatest misunderstanding. So choose your bridges carefully. Choose the relationships that feel calm, not the ones that feel crazy. And remember, if someone only wants you when there's drama, they don't want you. They want the adrenaline. You deserve to be chosen in the quiet moments too, when hearts beat steady and love doesn't need chaos to prove itself real.